What's up, Nuggets Nation? Welcome to Nugget Numbers. This is my new podcast where I'm going to do game breakdowns, player breakdowns, and just good overall Nugget content. So thanks for tuning in. This episode, I'm going to be going over a game breakdown of their recent game against the Milwaukee Bucks. So to start, this is a huge game for the Nuggets, right? When you look at it, Nuggets first overall in the West, Bucks first overall in the East. Bucks have the best record in the league, right? So this could definitely be a potential finals matchup. So it's huge for the Nuggets that they got the victory in this game, right? Because when you look at it, they beat them so bad in this game. Just to start it off, Nuggets won 129 to 106. So beat them by 23 points, which when you look at the Bucks having the number one defense overall, you would not expect them to lose that, right? One big thing, the Bucks did come off of back-to-back, so we'll give them that. Came off of back-to-back, but being the best team in the league, you really can't hold that against you. This is going to be playoff basketball, basically. And that's what this game was. If you didn't get a chance to watch the game, I'll kind of break down some stats of some players and just my overall feel for the game, what I saw. This was playoff basketball. There were 4 techs in the game. The Bucks got 3. Malone got 1. It was scrappy. It was tough. Players were getting in each other's faces. One of the biggest ones that I loved was Christian Brown. Kind of got a little into it with Giannis. Nothing too crazy, but I love the young fella just kind of being in there, being scrappy, playing solid defense. It was really fun to watch. Same with Joker. Joker had a play with Bobby Portis that I thought was hilarious. Bobby Portis clearly fouled him. Nikola Jokic just wasn't even looking at him. He was like, this guy doesn't even exist. He's like, whatever, you're a bum, I'm just going to keep walking. And Portis was trying to get in his face, kept going at him, and Jokic didn't respond. Ref gave the tech to Portis, and Jokic thought it was on him, and Jokic blew up. It was on me. It was so funny. So it was playoff basketball, which I loved. It was really entertaining, really fun to watch, and the Nuggets really stepped up, which was amazing. Just some basic stats here. Stat lines. Jokic went 31, 6, and 11. So had that double-double. Didn't get too many rebounds, but was passing the ball really solid. And he was just dominating Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, probably will be it. He is amazing against 6'4", 6'5" guards who come into the paint and try to drive on him. But when he gets an all-elite or offensive player like Jokic, someone who can match his size and he's even better in offense than he is in defense, he looks like a bum. Like, let's just be honest. I'm not trying to hate on Brook Lopez, but Jokic put him in the blender a couple times last night, was bullying him as well. It was a poor showing from Lopez. Jamal had a great game. He went 26, 6, and 9. He did really well in the first quarter. I think he scored 18 in the first quarter. He went off. There was a play where he had, or a series where he had 3 back-to-back-to-back threes. Jamal, it's interesting because Malone is having him run the second unit, right? Now that Bones is gone and Reggie Jackson isn't what we thought he was going to be, he's having Jamal run the second unit. So when Jamal is with the starters, sometimes like that, he got hot, right? And it was kind of that transition from some of the starters being subbed out and just him. And when he gets hot and then he's only with bench players who can't help him that much, he kind of gets forced into these awkward situations of taking, tough shots or just shots that aren't exactly what he should be taking. So that's interesting to see that he kind of feels like he has to go solo mode. Or at least that's what I see from it. He feels a little bit like, all right, let me go hero ball. It's all on me because the bench unit just isn't strong enough to help him. So he really has to start to build some chemistry. If that's going to be how it is in the playoffs, where he's running the bench unit, he has to start to build some chemistry with those guys like Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, Green, Zeke, all these guys to kind of really help them get into the game as well and make it easier on him so he doesn't feel like he has to play hero ball. That's my one big takeaway from him is he had a great game. He had really good shots at times, really good passes at times, but he needs to be build a little bit more chemistry with his teammates on the bench because that'll just help him feel more comfortable there and not have to play hero ball. MPJ 19-7 and 0, so he's not the best passer, so we expect no assists, but 19-7, solid game from him. Made a couple good threes, made a couple good drives. I really like that. If you saw my previous video about his numbers, you'll know that if he starts off with his first stint of playing and he shoots over 50% or 50% or over, he'll most likely have a good game. He's a big, confident shooter, so it's good for him to get going right away. One cool thing that I saw that was pretty interesting that I really wasn't expecting is KCP led the team in rebounds. He had 8 rebounds last night. A couple other people had 7 or 6 or around there. But he had 8, which was interesting because KCP isn't the biggest rebounding guy. So that was cool to see. So I'm going to do a nugget of the night. So in these game breakdowns, I'm going to break down the game, do a nugget of the night, a play of the night, and then I'm going to go over their next game, their next matchup, see who they're playing, see what we kind of need to work on. So nugget of the night was easily Jokic. I already kind of touched on it before. He was just dominating Brook Lopez. We've seen it every game for the past 3 years, basically. When Jokic is off the floor, it's a different team. When he's on the floor, he dominates. He just does. It's that simple. He's the biggest game changer in the league. He makes his teammates the best in the league. There's no one like him. He's the clear-cut MVP for me, but he's just amazing. He's easily the nugget of the night. There's no question about it. The way he controlled the game was insane. Play of the night. The play of the night, if you didn't catch it, I'm going to put in a clip here, was Jeff Green dunking on Giannis. Just a huge poster, got the bench hype. It was awesome. I loved it. That was definitely the play of the game because when he did that, it just kept that momentum. The Nuggets had good momentum at that point. Then he dunked on Giannis because that was the bench unit who did that. The starters were out. It was Jamal that was in, but the starters were out. So the fact that the bench unit was just destroying the Bucks was amazing. So that is the play of the game. I'm going to cut to the clip here. That was sick, right? I love the bench's reaction to that. It was so much fun to see. Michael Porter Jr. going crazy, Aaron Gordon going crazy, Peyton Watson falling down. It was really fun to see. It was a good building moment as well for the team. So I was really happy with that. Let's get to their next matchup now. Their next matchup is going to be against the 76ers, and this is another huge game. It's big because there's a couple reasons why. One, let's just go over the 76ers right now. They're currently on a 2-game losing streak. They're halfway in their road. They're two. This will be 3 out of 4 for their road trip out west. They played the Warriors, the Suns, us, and then they play the Mavs, and then they go back. So it's a big game. They're not playing the best ball right now on this road trip. The Suns kind of gave it to them. Now the Warriors, Joel Embiid went off. He had 46 points, but they just couldn't get it in the end, right? They just couldn't close out the game that well. So I think the Nuggets, right? I was fortunate enough to go to the 76ers and Nuggets game when it was here in Philly. I went and I watched the Nuggets lose that game, and that was probably the toughest loss of the year. Not only because it was against Joel Embiid, who's in my opinion, it's one Joel Embiid or Jokic, and for MVP, and that's a pretty normal consensus right now. I don't think many people would disagree. A lot of people probably have Giannis in there too, but I mean, after last night's game of Giannis really playing well but not getting it done, I think Jokic is far and away the leader for MVP. But that's, again, I'm a Nuggets fan. That's my bias. I'm not going to say that. Say it with a straight face and not let you guys know that I'm a big Nuggets fan. But with that being said, going into this game against the 76ers, there's a couple key things that I want to look at. One is off the court. Joel Embiid has been pretty clear that he's trying to kind of start this rivalry with Nikola Jokic. And I love it for two reasons, right? Because I know Nikola Jokic can beat Joel Embiid, so he's kind of starting a rivalry with someone that I think he won't win against. And then two, Nikola Jokic could care less. That's my favorite thing about him is this guy, he just, it's like Joel Embiid is trying to get under his skin, and Nikola Jokic is like, he could just care less, and I love that about him. He's not going to let other people get in his head. He's not going to let people change his game. He's going to go out there, play how he plays, do what he do, and that's it, right? There's nothing you can change about him, and I love that. So this is a big game because Joel Embiid has been off the court, been pretty vocal about how he thinks he's the best. He thinks he should be MVP. The game against Draymond, he told him, like, I heard what you said about Jokic being the hardest player to guard. I wanted to change your mind. I'm the hardest player to guard. Like, he's pretty clearly trying to beat Jokic, right? So off the court, that's a huge storyline, right? And that's going to be really fun to watch. But really, when I look at it, I think it's going to be a Nuggets win just because they're on a road trip. They have no momentum right now. They've lost two. It's going to be a fun game to watch. On the court, I don't think anyone can stop Nikola Jokic. So that's going to be a fun game to look forward to. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little breakdown of the game, of the Nugget of the Night, a play of the game, and then kind of a future look at what's coming with the next game. In future, these quick little breakdowns, they'll be more focused on the game. It was just fun to see the Nuggets destroy the Bucks. The reason I focus a lot on the 76ers is because it's a big game. One, for the MVP conversation. Two, for the playoff conversation of two potential championship matchups. So it's going to be fun to watch. So definitely tune into that. I'll have another video up after that game, doing a game breakdown of what happened in that game. Same style. I'll continue to do videos after every game, just breaking down what happened, who was playing well, what I saw. And then I'm also going to try to do like weekly videos of specific Nuggets players who specific things, just like I did with the Michael Porter Jr. video, where I really highlighted his stats on shooting in his first stint and how his confidence makes him a better player. So thanks if you enjoyed it. Tune in next time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. But yeah, thanks. Let's go Nuggets.